In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Surah Al-Hud, Surah Hud, Ayah 84. To the people of Madian we sent their brother Shu'aib. He said, O my people, worship Allah, you have none worthy of worship but He. Do not give short measure and wait. Although I see you in prosperity today, I fear for you the scourge of a day that will encircle you. O my people, give full measure and weight in all fairness. Do not defraud people of their goods, and do not spread mischief in the land. What remains from Allah through a lawful transaction is better for you if you are true believers, and I am not set up as a guardian over you. They said, O Shu'aib, does your salah command you that we give up all those deities whom our forefathers worshipped, or that we have no right of doing what we like with our own goods? For sure you are the only forbearing and right-minded. They said this sarcastically. He said, O my people, you see, if I have a clear sign from my Rabb, and He has given me good sustenance from Himself, how can I then be a party to your evil and unlawful practices? It is not my intention to forbid something for you while I do the same forbidden thing. I desire nothing but to reform so far as I can manage. I cannot succeed except with the help of Allah. In Him do I trust, and to Him do I turn for everything. O my people, let not my dispute with you bring upon you the doom similar to that of the people of Nuh, or of Hud, or of Salih. Nor are the people of Lut far off from you. Seek forgiveness of your Rabb, and turn to Him in repentance, for my Rabb is indeed merciful, affectionate. They said, O Shu'aib, we do not comprehend much of what you say. In fact, we see that you are a powerless person among us. Were it not for your family, we certainly would have stoned you, for you are not strong enough to prevail against us. He said, O my people, do you regard my family to be more powerful than Allah, that you have disregarded Him totally as a thing cast behind your back? Surely my Rabb encompasses all that you do. O my people, you keep on doing your way, and I shall keep up mine. Soon you will find out who receives the disgraceful punishment, and who is a liar. Wait if you will. I too am waiting with you. When our judgment came to pass, we delivered Shu'aib and those who believed with him through our special mercy. A mighty blast seized the wrongdoers, and they lay dead with their faces down in their homes, as if they had never flourished there. Behold, like Thamud, gone are the people of Madian. We sent Musa with our signs and clear authority to Pharaoh and his chiefs, but they followed the command of Pharaoh, and the command of Pharaoh was not right. He will be in front of his people on the day of resurrection, and will bring them down to hell. How awful will be the place to which they will be brought. A curse followed them in this life, and a curse will follow them on the day of resurrection. What an evil reward for one to receive. These are the stories of the towns which we relate to you. Of them some have survived, and some have ceased to exist. We were not unjust to them, but they were unjust to themselves. The deities they invoked besides Allah did not avail them when the judgment of your Rabb came to pass. They added nothing to their lot but perdition. Such is the scourge of your Rabb when He seizes a town of wrongdoers. Indeed, His seizure is terrible and painful. In fact, there is a sign in this for those who fear the punishment of the hereafter. That is a day in which mankind will be gathered together, and that is a day when all will be present. We do not delay it, but to the appointed deadline. When the day will come, no one shall dare to speak except with His permission. Of them some will be damned, and some will be blessed. Those who are damned shall be in the fire. In there they will have only sighs and sobs. They will dwell therein as long as the heavens and the earth shall last, unless your Rabb ordains otherwise. Surely your Rabb is the mighty doer of what He intends. As for those who are blessed, they shall be in paradise. They will dwell therein as long as the heavens and the earth shall last, unless your Rabb ordains otherwise, an award which will never be taken away. Therefore have no doubt concerning the deities they worship, for they blindly imitate the worship of those deities whom their forefathers used to worship before them. And surely we shall give them their share of punishment in full without any abatement. We certainly gave the book to Musa, but differences arose about it. Had not a word gone forth from your Rabb, the matter would have been decided between them regarding those differences. It is a fact that they are in suspicious doubt about this, and it is also a fact that your Rabb will give them full measure for their deeds, for He is fully aware of what they do. Therefore, stand firm on the right way as you are commanded, together with those who have turned from unbelief to belief in Allah, and do not transgress. Surely He is watching all that you do. Do not incline to be those who are unjust, lest you be seized by the fire, and you will not have any protector besides Allah, nor shall you be helped. Establish salah at the two ends of the day and in the early part of the night. Indeed, virtues remove evils. This is a reminder for the mindful. Be patient, for sure Allah does not let the reward of the righteous be wasted. Were you there not among the generations before you, good persons who could forbid the people from making mischief in the land, except a few of those whom we delivered from among them? The wrongdoers, however, pursued the worldly pleasure they were provided and became confirmed criminals. It is not possible that your Rabb would destroy the towns unjustly while their inhabitants were reformers, likely to mend their ways. If your Rabb had so willed, He would have certainly made mankind one single nation. But that is not what He wants, so they will not cease to differ except those on whom He has bestowed His mercy. And that very freedom of choice and action is the whole purpose of their creation. That is how the word of your Rabb, that He will fulfill hell with jinns and human beings altogether, will be fulfilled. All these stories of the prior Rasuls that we relate to you, O Muhammad, are to strengthen your heart therewith. Through these there has come to you the truth and an admonition and a reminder for the believers. As for those who are unbelievers, say to them, do whatever you want, and so shall we. Wait if you will, surely we too shall wait. Allah alone has the knowledge of what is hidden in the heavens and the earth, and everything shall ultimately return to Him for decision. Therefore worship Him, and put your trust in Him, and your Rabb is not unmindful of what you do. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Surah Yusuf, Ayah 1. Alif Lam Ra. These are the verses of the book that makes things clear. We have revealed this Quran in the Arabic language so that you Arabs may understand. We relate to you the best of stories through this Quran by our revelation to you, O Muhammad, though before this you were one of those who did not know. This is the narrative of that time, when Yusuf said to his father, O my father, in a dream I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrate themselves before me. He replied, O my son, do not say anything about this dream to your brothers, lest they plot an evil scheme against you. For Shaitan is an open enemy to human beings. It will happen, as you have seen in your dream, that you will be chosen by your Rabb for His work. He will teach you how to interpret visions, and will perfect His favor upon you and the children of Yaqub, as He perfected it upon your forefathers Ibrahim and Ishaq before you. Surely your Rabb is knowledgeable, wise. Indeed, in the story of Yusuf and his brothers, there are signs for inquirers. This is how the story begins. His stepbrothers held a meeting and said to one another, Yusuf and his brother Benjamin are loved more by our father than us, even though we are a group of 10 and can help him more than them. In fact, our father is clearly mistaken. Let us kill Yusuf or throw him out to some far-off land so that the attention of our father turns exclusively towards us. After that we may again become righteous people." At this one of them said, "Do not kill Yusuf, but if you must, throw him into the dark depths of some well so that he may be picked up by some passing caravan." After this meeting they asked their father, "O our father, why is it that you do not trust us with Yusuf, though we are his sincere well-wishers? Send him with us tomorrow, that he may play and enjoy himself. We shall take good care of him." Their father said, "I will be worried if you take him away, for I fear lest a wolf should eat him up while you are off guard." They said, "If a wolf could eat him despite our number, then surely we would be worthless people." Then after such persistence, they were able to take him away. They resolved to throw him into a dark well. We revealed this to Yusuf. A time will come that you will admonish them about this act of theirs when they do not know your identity. At nightfall they returned to their father weeping. They said, "O our father, we went off to compete in racing with one another and left Yusuf by our belongings, and a wolf ate him. But you will not believe us even though we are telling the truth." As proof they brought his shirt stained with false blood. "No," he cried, "your souls have tempted you to evil. I need good patience. Allah alone can help me against that which you assert." On the other side, a caravan passed by and sent a water carrier who let down his bucket into the well. Seeing Yusuf in it, he shouted with joy, "Good news! I found a young boy." They concealed him like trade merchandise. Allah knew what they did. They sold him for a petty price, a few dirhams, silver coins. They had such a low estimation of him. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Surah Yusuf, Ayah 21. The Egyptian who bought Yusuf said to his wife, "Be kind to him. He may prove useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son." Thus we established Yusuf in the land and arranged to teach him the interpretation of dreams. Allah has full power over his affairs, though most people do not know. When he reached maturity, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. Thus do we reward the righteous. Now the lady of the house, his master's wife, attempted to seduce him. She bolted the doors and said, "Come." He replied, "May Allah protect me from this. My Lord has provided me with good residence. Should I betray his trust? Surely wrongdoers do not prosper." She advanced towards him, and he would have advanced towards her had he not seen a sign from his Rabb. Thus did we shield him from indecency and immodesty, for he was one of our sincere servants. They both rushed to the door. In order to stop him, she caught his shirt, and as a result she ripped his shirt from behind. At the door they met her husband. Seeing him, she cried, "What punishment does someone who intended evil against your wife deserve, except imprisonment or a painful punishment?" Yusuf said, "It was she who attempted to seduce me." At this, one accusing the other, one member of her own family bore witness, saying, "If his shirt is ripped from the front, then she is speaking the truth and he is lying. But if it is ripped from behind, then he is speaking the truth and she is lying." So when he, her husband, saw that Yusuf's shirt was ripped from behind, he said to her, "It is one of the scam of you women. Your scam was mighty indeed. O Yusuf, say no more about this, and you, O my wife, seek forgiveness for your sins, for you were indeed the wrongdoer." The women of the city began to talk about this incident, saying, "The wife of Al-Aziz has seduced her young slave, for she has fallen madly in love with him. In fact, we see her in manifest error." When she heard about these remarks, she invited them and prepared them a banquet and gave each of them a knife. When they were engaged in cutting foodstuff, she asked Yusuf to come out before them. When they saw him, they were so amazed that they cut their hands and exclaimed spontaneously, "Good Lord, he is no human being, he is but a noble angel." She said, Well, this is he about whom you blame me. No doubt I seduced him, but he refused. And now if he refuses to obey my order, he will certainly be thrown into prison and be disgraced." Yusuf said, "O my Rabb, prison is more to my liking than that to which they invite me, and unless you ward off their cunning scam from me, I may in my youthful folly feel inclined towards them and become one of the ignorant." Thereupon his Rabb answered his prayer and warded off their cunning scam from him. Surely he hears all and knows all. Still, even after all the evidence they had seen of his innocence and the guilt of their women, they thought it proper to send him to prison for a while. The two young men also entered prison along with him. One day one of them said, "I saw in a dream that I was pressing wine." The other said, "I saw in a dream that I was carrying bread on my head, of which birds were eating. Tell us the interpretation of these dreams, for we see that you are a man of virtue." Yusuf replied, "I will, with Allah's permission, tell you the interpretation of these dreams before the food that is provided for you comes to you. This is part of the knowledge which my Rabb has taught me. In fact, I have forsaken the faith of those people who do not believe in Allah and even deny the hereafter. I follow the faith of my forefathers Ibrahim, Ishaq and Yaqub. It is not fitting that we attribute any partners with Allah. It is the grace of Allah on us and on mankind that He has not made us the servants of anyone else other than Himself. Yet most of the people are not grateful. O my fellow inmates, tell me what is better, many different lords, or Allah the One, the Irresistible? Those whom you worship besides Him are nothing but mere names which you and your forefathers have invented, for which Allah has revealed no sanction. The command belongs to none but Allah, who has ordained that you worship none but Him. That is the true faith, yet most of the people do not know. O my fellow inmates, here is the interpretation of your dreams. One of you will be released and serve wine to his lord, the king of Egypt, and the other will be crucified and the birds will eat from his head. That's how the cases about which you inquired will be decided. Then to the one who he thought would be released, he said, "Mention me to your Lord." But Shaitan made him forget to mention Yusuf to his Lord, so he remained in the prison a few more years. One day, the king of Egypt said, "I saw 7 fat cows in my dream, which were eaten up by 7 lean cows. Likewise, I saw 7 green ears of corn, and 7 others that were dried up. O chiefs, tell me the meaning of my dream if you can interpret the dreams." They replied, "Confused nightmares. We are not skilled in the interpretation of dreams such as this." Thereupon, one of the 2 inmates who was released remembered Yusuf after all that time, and he said, "I will tell you its interpretation. Just send me to Yusuf in the prison." He came to Yusuf in the prison and said, "O Yusuf, the truthful one, tell us the meaning of the dream of 7 fat cows which are eaten up by 7 lean ones, and of 7 green ears of corn and 7 others dried up, so that I may return to the people and let them know the meaning of this dream." He replied, "You will cultivate for 7 consecutive years. During this time you should leave the corn you reap in the ear, except what may be sufficient for your food. Then after that period there will come upon you 7 hard years, which will eat away all that you had stored except a little, which you may have specifically set aside. After that period will come a year of abundant rain, in which the people will press olives and grapes." The king said, "Bring him to me." When the messenger came to Yusuf, he said, "Go back to your Lord and ask him about the case of those women who cut their hands. Indeed, my Rabb has full knowledge of their scam." The king questioned those women, saying, "What do you say about the incident when you attempted to seduce Yusuf?" They replied, "God forbid, we know of no evil on his part." The Aziz's wife said, "Now that the truth has come to light, it was I who attempted to seduce him. In fact, he is absolutely truthful." Yusuf said, "I asked for this inquiry in order that he, Al-Aziz, may know that I did not betray him in his absence, that Allah does not let the scam of the treacherous succeed.